Steph and Draymond are linked together in ways that a lot of people don't even realize, because not only did they kind of come in together and come up together, they both, and credit to Steve Kerr also, they covered up each other's, I guess you could say, deficiencies, quote unquote, at the time perfectly. Because remember, they both came in with a lot of questions about what position could they play, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with Steph back then, that was still Steve Nash was still with the Suns, put it that way. I think Jason Kidd might have still been with the Nets at the time. Like, that was a very pure point guard league.
Mm-hmm.
Steph Curry comes in, taking all these shots, averaging almost 30 in college. Incredible stuff, but 6'3" at the time, a lot smaller. There's a lot of questions about him, and that's why he fell to number 7 in the draft. Draymond, same thing. He came in kind of overweight, which I never understand why. That's a big deal for somebody who's young. Obviously, they can lose the weight, but he came in kind of overweight, undersized. Is he a small forward? No, he's not athletic enough. Is he a power forward? No, he's too small. But they end up together, right? And they make up for each other perfectly. And I'll give this example, right? Because the talk a lot of times is about the Timberwolves passing up on Steph in the draft. And the Johnny Flynn pick, I can't explain. I'm gonna be honest with you. I loved Johnny Flynn in college, but I don't know why you would, like, even though they drafted Ricky Rubio and Ricky Rubio wasn't coming over yet, you knew he was going to be your point guard. I don't know why you would draft another one right after him. But looking at that roster at the time and looking at that team system, I'm not going to say they made the right decision, because Steph Curry is Steph Curry. But I don't know if Steph Curry fully becomes Steph Curry in Minnesota, because Al Jefferson was coming off of his best year, which I think he averaged 20 and 11 or something the season prior. And that was a very slow, low post, in the mud team. And so if you coming in as Steph Curry thinking you about to ignore Al Jefferson in the post and shoot a transition 3, Flip Saunders wasn't having that, or whoever the coach was at the time.
Absolutely.
And so that wasn't really going to work. But he goes to Golden State, and now Draymond can take that playmaking responsibility that people didn't really know Steph Curry could have. And Steph Curry takes the shooting, obviously, that Draymond has had up and down throughout his career. And you have just this perfect marriage of players who were kind of, I don't want to use the word misfits in a sense, but definitely counted out for things that they obviously covered up for each other. And now you see it. Steph Curry just had 60, and a lot of it is off ball, but Steph Curry is probably a lot more dangerous off ball than he is on ball. And that's pretty crazy to think about because of how good he is on ball.
It's literally, he is so good off ball that people forget how good he is on ball.
Right.
Like, I've had this discussion plenty of times with one of my dear friends who is a Steph Curry hater.
Man, I don't know how that's possible at this point.
He's a Chris Paul fan.
Oh, yeah.
Can't blame the guy.
Yeah.
No, but realistically, like, he's like, Steph isn't that, he's not really a point guard because he can't facilitate and this and that. And I'm like, before Steve Kerr got there, obviously they didn't win a ring, but they were a pick and roll offense.
Yeah.
And we know what Steph was putting up 8.5 assists in this pick and roll offense. Was that for the betterment of the team? No. Like, honestly, like, he's so damn good off ball that you're right. He's not just your regular point guard. He is unlike anything the NBA had ever seen.
Right.
Like, he's truly one of a kind. And we still 35 years old. He just scored 60 points at 35 years old. And this is no discredit to what Kobe did in his last game. This is no discredit to what LeBron's been doing. But this is crazy. Like, this is not normal. Like, just because these other players have done it, this is not normal. The way in which he interprets space on the basketball floor is damn near second to none.
Right.
100%. His ability to read and react, screens, off ball, screens with the ball in his hand, just gets probably has one of the fast.
And I'm not cutting you off. I'm going to let you get right back to it. But I did want to kind of put this in there as a pick and pop threat. He killed Atlanta in that pick and pop last game.
Crazy.
But yeah, you can go ahead and
no. To your point, like, his ability to just completely understand what space is on the floor and how he can exploit that space. Credit to Draymond for getting it to him in that space.
Mhm.
You know, credit to Steve Kerr for creating this offense that was not traditional whatsoever at the time. It
Right.
was frowned upon. The Mark Jackson firing was actually very frowned upon by a lot
Yeah.
of people, I remember at the time. And it, like, just to what they are now this year and to what they're doing now this year. And Draymond still being a crucial part of this team. Steph still being a crucial part of this team.